Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Snapchat Podcast. Today we have the amazing designer, Alexandre. How are you doing today, man?
Today's a good day, man. I've been running around all that a lot, but I'm glad to be here. Appreciate the invite. Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on. Yeah, we're excited to kind of talk more about your story and kind of everything you do here in Arizona.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
Let us know about Alexandre, man. How'd you get started?
Back in 2017, I was in college. I was a freshman. I've always liked clothes, putting styles together, and like kind of expressing myself through like fashion and stuff. Just growing up, I didn't know that's what it was. But I used to watch Project Runway with my mom.
Yeah.
I'm really big on like constructing things and how things get made. I don't know if you guys remember the How It's Made show.
Oh yeah, I used to watch that.
Dude, I used to love watching that show growing up. Some of like the house, like HGTV, I think it's HGTV.
Oh, yeah.
Like all those house building shows and stuff. I used to love watching those just because just like understanding how things are constructed and how things are put together. And like even the simplest of things has always interested me. And then just, I guess, combining that with like my love for outfits, colors.
Okay.
Whatever the case may
So
be.
like that's kind of started since you were young, is like wanting to create like outfits, like your own outfit? Or
Not like in the styling sense. I don't want to disrespect any stylists out there, but not in the styling
Can't do
sense,
that.
but just kind of like having my own style, being different, being unique. Just having fun with it. I've always thought clothes were fun, fun way to express myself. So yeah, I guess it's always been in me. My family is, they made their own clothes growing up and stuff like that. So it's kind of always been in me. 2017 though, just fast forward. I knew school wasn't necessarily something for me, at least at the time. And I kind of wanted like a creative way to express myself, a creative outlet, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So like, I guess fashion, clothes, making stuff was like the way to do it, and just figuring out how to do that. I didn't go to school for it. I kind of went to school for it. I have a degree in fashion merchandising. Not like full on fashion design, but just understanding like some of the
Understand the market,
basic stuff,
industry.
the market, the industry.
Well, how would you describe your clothing? Like what you're making now? How would you describe it? Like what would you call it?
How do you define by Alexandre? Like a quick little motto or brand statement.
I would describe it as I don't know if I want to describe it as contemporary, but contemporary menswear, like timeless. So I'm kind of like in a place where I'm like really understanding where I want to take the brand and like what I do. But it's definitely menswear. It's denim. It's timeless, long lasting, brutalism. Those are just like some words that I thought. But essentially what I want to do with this is I want this to be like the Ralph Lauren for the Black community. Like,
Nice.
still being able to dress like classy, but having that kind of like that like edge to it that the Black community has, no matter what or what we're wearing, where we're at. Just kind of like combining those two worlds, like encouraging young Black men especially to, it's okay to dress, classy. It's okay to wear some jeans with like a nice blazer on top. It's okay to do these things. You don't have to like have everything super baggy or like dress. We kind of create our own trends. So.
Because I remember, I've been seeing a lot of stuff that you've been doing for the past year and a half, and we've known each other for about 3-4 years since Tempe Fashion Week.
Nah, we met before that in Label Horror Fashion Show at Fabric.
Oh yeah.
That was the first time. Like it was brief, but that was the first time
I
we
remember that.
met.
Yeah.
So I've known you since I moved out here 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So he said you moved in from Chicago, right?
I'm originally from Chicago, but I moved here from St. Louis. That's where I grew up.
Okay.
With some of my colleagues and my roommates.
So when you were there, did you already like have an aspiration for making designs, or did that happen when you
No.
moved to Arizona?
Well, I actually in St. Louis, in St. Louis, I kind of started messing around with it. Like I said, 2017, 2018 is when I really got to like, or 2018, 2019 is when I really got to like sewing and like kind of like drawing stuff out and like trying to create it or whatever you could say. Again, I'm not taught how to do this, so I kind of just like, oh, this would be cool. let's figure out how to do it.
Okay.
YouTube University,
Self-taught,
that's
yeah.
where I'm at
Right.
all the
That's
way,
key.
baby. So
What would you say was that kind of the hardest process to learn? Like, just up to where you're at now.
the hardest process would probably be patience.
Okay.
It's not necessarily a process, but that was the hardest thing to learn is just like, you know,
Why patience though? Like why is that something that really stuck out?
because my vision is too long term for me to like fall into trends or fall into things that
Okay.
people are making a lot of money off of right now. You
Uh-huh.
know, and there's been things that I could have done and could have leaned into to take my brand to the next level or just take my myself to the next level, I guess you could say. But I chose not to in efforts of like gaining more knowledge just of the industry itself because, you know, not many people know this or just know in general, one, how hard it is to make it in fashion, but just like sustain for a couple years at like a relatively high level, right? So I elected to just gain more knowledge and like understand the industry. So once I do make decisions, I can one, be proud of them, but also understand how to scale, understand how to adjust and pivot more naturally instead of like, oh, I just got 100 orders of jeans. Like, where am I going to get these produced? You know,
Oh,
so
sure.
just understanding how to do that a little bit more efficiently.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that you've been pushing your own direction, your own brand, and with the industry out here, where there's a lot of people who are trying to, kind of like what you're saying, follow trends and piggyback off other things. I feel like Alexandre's always just been in your own lane. You're like, what I want, this is the focus. I'm going to execute it, perfect it, master it, and then on to the next move. You know.
I appreciate that.
And I've noticed, like, I mean, you're doing your own shows. Like, you had the First Friday
Oh, yeah.
Flash show.
The flash mob, yeah.
Flash mob runway show. Tell us about that. I think people will be
Um,
interested in that one.
So the whole goal with that is, I mean, I had just moved out here. I don't even think I had a year under my belt in Arizona.
Yeah. Like,
so I
we're
was
gonna
just-
go out there.
Well, I was thinking, like, I met a few good people. I met you. I met Mace. Shout out to Mace. Maya when she was out here. There's a few other people that I met, but I was like, yo, there's a lot of dope people out here. Like, how do I tap into it a little bit more? What's the easiest way to do that? Through an event, you know?
Yeah.
What type of event would make more sense for someone that wants to get in the fashion industry? A fashion show. How do I do it in the most polarizing way? Because I'm a polarizing person. Like, I don't care what you think, what you do, whatever. I'm just
You want to make a statement with whatever you do.
want to make a
Yeah.
statement. I have my own vision for things. So, like I was kind of saying with the trends and stuff, I'm not going to, like, shy away from that, right? So, what's the most polarizing thing I can do? I had already been to First Fridays because I was told that was, like, the biggest kind of, like, gathering of just people
Yeah.
in Phoenix at
Downtown
like on a
Phoenix
consistent
creatives.
basis at least. So I went out there to promote the Labor World show where we met. I was just out there handing out flyers the week before.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was like when you first got here, and that's like your way of like trying to get into the industry is like you went out to Phoenix and just started like handing people out like.
Yeah, I met some cool people. I was just again handing out flyers like, "Yo, it's a free show, just come out." It was the next day actually. It was that Saturday was the show. So
Okay,
first
yeah.
Friday and then the next day was the show I was in. So I'm just like, "Yo, it's tomorrow. It's at like 3:00 or whatever it was. Like, it's a free show. Just come hang out. It's right by the Tempe Arts Festival. Just come do your thing." There were some dope people. There was a dope group of dudes that I met. We flicked it up. We chopped it up a little bit, and they actually pulled up to the show. They got front row seats. It was super cool to see them there. And I mean, it was I had like 2 looks or something like that. So it was like, but it was like really, really cool and really inspiring to see them actually like pull up. I probably had talked to or like just handed out maybe like, I don't know, 50, 100 flyers or something like that.
Yeah.
But just to see, it was like a group of 5 people. So like to see that conversion and just like that, like, that belief in me, because they had just like, I had like a rack of clothes of stuff that I was like debuting out there. And just see that belief in me, like that really just sparked me to like, oh, I can
Make it bigger
make it
for next
bigger.
time. Yeah.
Exactly.
What did you feel like you learned out of that experience that basically helped you into the next step? What was the next step to that, and how did that help you
That's a
out?
good one.
The next step probably was the flash mob. So, that made me kind of like subconsciously, I was like, oh, there's so many people out here I could like I could meet everyone in Phoenix at one time, you know. And I'm an efficient guy. I like to be efficient with things. So the idea with the flash mob was not only am I going to kind of explain what my brand is about in a sense, but I'm also going to just naturally and organically have as many eyes as possible at one time. Whether it's organically, they're just passing by and just like, oh, what's happening? Or it's people that I already invite. I invite, no matter what I'm doing, I'm personally inviting people because one, I want to see you there because we're friends. Like I invited you to my show personally because I wanted you to be there because, you know, we're homies. I've known you since I moved out here. You've plugged me in with a lot of people. All right. So you've always been there to support me. Right. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and then when you invited me, I was like, I'm definitely coming then. You know, I'll let you support wherever I can.
Exactly. So shouts out to you. Anyone I talk to them about you. I know I'm on a tangent. I'm going to get back to the flash mob. Trust me.
I mean, you can keep talking about me. I mean, that's good.
Right? Anyone I talk to them about you, they're either like, yeah, I know Jeff. I love Jeff. Or they're like, that sounds so familiar. And I'm like, you've probably either seen him or you've seen his page or something. But he's always out and about it, like everything, just like showing love, just supporting, just like taking pictures of just like whatever's happening in Phoenix. And I think it's like the coolest thing in the world. So anyway, enough about Jeff.
Yeah, we sure about that? No, I was kidding. Yeah, no.
So yeah, the flash mob, I dressed everyone in purple. Because purple, one is my favorite color. It's like the brand, like the poppy brand color. And then it's a symbolism of like royalty, wealth, like affluent, like it's a very it's a polarizing color, right? So that was kind of the whole idea, is just like bringing some of the best models, some of the best just I guess you could call them influencers, but just some of the best faces and people just in the area, in the know, like out there.
A lot of the key figures out here in the industry in Arizona that are doing their thing, trying to be impactful. Yeah.
So we had probably like 30 something models or people walking the runway. We had like 5 photographers. We had probably like 10 volunteers like helping direct traffic, and just like we blocked off the entire intersection. And we have like a drone footage of it. Shouts out to the homie Alex with a drone, but we had like a drone footage of it, and it was massive. Like by the time we started the show, we told everyone to be there at like 6:30. The show was gonna start at like 7:30 or something like that. We didn't start until I want to say 8:15 ish. By the time because we had parked everyone and got everyone dressed at like a CVS. The CVS is blocked off now. You can't like park your car and leave anymore, or else it'll get towed because of this, right? So we parked at a CVS down the street. We walked everyone down. By the time we got there was probably like 70 people just like crowded around this like like food truck or something with like this LED wall in the back. It was super sick. But there was like probably 70 people just crowded there, like waiting to see this. By the time everyone kind of lined up in a straight line, there was probably like another 100 people that just like stopped and like, yo, something's about to happen. Like, let me not miss this. I went around and just like, yo, when this show starts, you're going to know when it starts, but when this show starts, block off the intersection. Like, I'm not liable for any injuries, but block off this intersection. So when it kicked off, we kicked off with the homie Lance. Shout out to Lance, Samex, the boys. We kicked it off with them, with Lance doing a skateboard. He rolled down the street with a skateboard. Cool, yeah. It was the sickest thing in the world. And we got an incredible video. I'm shouting out everybody, but shout out to the homie Manny for shooting the Top Pixel Media for shooting the video for it. It was such a sick. It was oh my gosh, man, it was awesome. But yeah,
that was your first one that you did here in Arizona.
That was the first show that me, Carlos, and then the homie Mace, and who else?
So like Bria. A few people kind of coming together to make that.
We built like a super team, and man, without them, dude, like that was not happening. So I really appreciate them for doing that. But we kind of built a super team and like made it all happen. It was incredible. It was incredible. It was probably like 3 months of planning.
Oh wow!
To actually doing it. So
I heard you also got the cops who kind of like have to shut it down at one point. They're just like, okay, what's going on? What's happening? Like, there's.
They luckily they shut it down right as we were ending. So we were taking like final photos and stuff, and then a big cruiser pulls up and is like, yo, I'm cool, like, what you guys are doing. Like, it looks awesome, but, like, you're blocking off the intersection. It was the most busiest
Right.
intersection. So you guys got to go. And we were like, I mean, we're leaving anyway. So
Oh, hell yeah.
thanks for showing up when you did, you know? So it was super sick, man. It was super sick.
What was the feedback for that from everyone?
Everyone loved it. Everyone loved being a part of it. Again, I just can't thank everyone enough
Yeah.
for just willing to just take a risk, because, I mean, it was a risk, right? So, yeah, everyone loved it. I still get people to this day like, yo, that flash mob was incredible. So,
Heck, it's one of the things I wanted to bring up on the podcast. Is like I wanted you to talk about it just because it was so like, no one does that out here. No one does anything like that.
yeah, people are like, they were like, yo, when's the next one gonna be? I'm like, bro, I'm not doing that shit again.
Yeah, that's,
I don't want to
takes
curse.
a lot
but
of time,
I'm
especially
not
like
doing that.
permits and all that to like
We
actually
didn't
be
do any-
downtown.
There was
like,
no permits. We just did it.
no, that's what I'm
Oh,
saying. To
yeah.
do it again, like you would have to probably do well, unless you it gets shut down again or something like that. But there's a lot of work that goes into
Yeah.
creating something like that just in the street.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, a lot of planning, a lot of praying that nobody gets injured. So
Yeah. So all those clothes that were in that show, they were everything you made.
So we just thrifted a bunch of stuff, dyed a lot of stuff purple. A lot of stuff was handmade by me. I'd probably say about 30% of the stuff was handmade, and the rest was like thrifted. We just kind of styled it,
Okay.
dyed it purple, painted it. Yeah, probably the most memorable piece was that full purple jacket. I don't know if you remember that one.
Was it with the long sleeves?
Yeah, it was like a jumpsuit, like excuse me, I don't even know the.
I think
term
I
for it.
remember that. Is it the same jacket that we did the photo shoot at the other studio? Or is
No,
that different?
no, no, no,
Okay.
no. That was a different. Those are all handmade too.
Yeah.
But it was. I don't know. I'll send you the picture. I'm sure you guys can find a picture.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. We would
definitely
need that. Put that in the videos and all
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
sure.
That was probably the most memorable piece out there for sure. But
Then that was what year was that?
It's 2023.
2023?
Yeah.
Okay,
Or-
so you had already
Yeah,
done.
that was last year.
Okay, so you had already done Tempe Fashion Week at that time.
No. I guess I did Phoenix Fashion Week
Oh,
right
Phoenix.
before that. Phoenix
Yeah.
Fashion Week right before that.
Okay.
That
So
was
how,
super sick
How was
too.
that? Yeah. How did you get involved into that?
I got invited last minute. Shout out to Brian. He just reached out to me. I did it, and
Okay.
that was a cool learning experience to
Yeah.
kind of get that like more traditional fashion show, fashion week knowledge, and seeing how things run like that. Again, I only had 2 looks, so like it wasn't super ideal, but
Yeah.
it was cool. It was really fun to do. The models, Derek and why am I drawing a blank? Katie. Were incredible. They really killed the vibes that I was going for. Very theatrical. So
Dope.
yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
What was it like for you to be in a fashion week versus like doing your own fashion show? Or how was the process different? How was the vibes like? How would you define each one? I guess.
Fashion weeks are definitely more corporate. They're more like traditional, standard, a little bit more conservative on what you can do unless you're like the main, main piece. And I'm speaking specifically like for Phoenix Fashion Week, and I would assume Arizona Fashion Week as well. But they're just a little bit more like conservative in what you can do, what you can get away with. They're still fun as long as you have fun with it. But doing your own show, it's more of like a liberating feeling, at least the way we did it. Very liberating. We got to kind of like make up our own rules. The runway wasn't spectacular. The layout was. The people we had there, the vendors, because we had like 15 vendors as well.
Nice.
The opening designer. So we kind of did like concert style with that. Having like openers to like the main show, which was Alexandre. So fortunately, we had some really they blew my expectations out the water.
Yeah.
With what they presented and how they carried themselves, the model selection, the music, just everything about it was very, it was awesome. It was awesome to do. It was a nightmare to organize, but
Yeah, the coordination is always the worst. And
but
is
we
this
got it done.
the show that you did at the cul-de-sac, Tempe?
Yeah,
Or is
that
this-
was at
yeah.
Cul-de-sac Tempe. Shouts out to them. Shouts out to Sierra. Shouts out to Ryan at Cul-de-sac.
Which one was that? That was a fashion show.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
fashion show that me and my team organized.
Yeah,
Okay.
they did one last year. It was what was it called? The entire show itself? It was
Oh, the Denim
when?
Dreams.
Yeah.
That was at the art studio. I forgot about that one. Oh, no, you're thinking of November, the first one we did at Cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
I forget what that one was called. Sober Couture. Sober Couture.
So how many shows have you done yourself? Because it sounded like you've done
I'm
quite a
thinking
bit of your own. Yeah.
Let's see. I've organized 2, and I've been a part of 4.
Okay.
Phoenix, Art Studio, Label Horde, and the first one at Cul-de-sac. So
Okay.
6 total. Actually, 7. I did another one in Glendale for the homies Jess and Picasso and some good people over there. So yeah, I've done a couple.
Yeah. How do you come up with your style for each one of these shows? Like the clothes that you're gonna show off. How do you come up with that?
I just think of like something that I want to say, story I want to tell. Like I kind of try to like think of like a movie. Like Sober Couture was like, so haute couture is like the highest form of fashion design, right? Like it's those like $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 dresses or suits or whatever, like tailor made, best quality, like those shits, like the stuff that you won't ever see.
Yeah, like Met Gala
At a
type
retail
stuff.
store. Or
Not
something,
even
yeah.
Met Gala, probably a little
Higher
bit
end.
higher than Met Gala, but think that, but just like times 10,
Yeah.
right? That's haute couture.
Okay.
It's over 1,000.
Yeah, exactly. There's probably like maybe 1,000 people in the world that could afford haute couture, right?
Yeah.
So the Sober Couture came from like, it's like the antithesis of that, right? It's haute couture is something super unobtainable. Sober Couture is like something very unobtainable, very like, I don't want to say obtainable as in like price point, but like very like us
Yeah.
amongst the people type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Haute couture translates to, it's French for high sewing.
Okay.
So again, like the highest form of sewing. Sober couture translates to sober sewing. So it's like a double entendre. It's like sober, like you're not, like no drugs.
Yeah.
Right.
It's real. You're kind of stuck in reality. It's like
yeah,
it's
it's
affordable
reality.
for the average person. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's real.
It's reality. This is what you'd reality be wearing and purchasing, while haute couture is not something you'd be purchasing. But it's also again just the antithesis, like the wordplay, right?
Yeah.
So that was kind of like the portrayal there. The pieces were very again that kind of like 1950s Chicago workwear aesthetic, like industrial, like that brutalism, like that very like rugged, durable. This is what it is. Very honest, like
Yeah.
honest day's work. The beginning and ending look was 2 people holding a trunk that the job I was working at the time was going to throw away, and I was like, I'm taking this for sure.
Like the suitcase trunks, like the old school.
It was like think Louis Vuitton trunk, but
Oh shit.
it
Okay,
looked like a
pretty
big cinder block.
Fits the industrial aesthetic, yeah.
Exactly. So they carried that onto and it's heavy too. So I drilled some like handles onto it. So they carried that onto the runway, sat it down. Everyone kind of walked around them, and then the final look was them one at a time walking out and then carrying the trunk out. So just again that theatrical, you wouldn't expect this type of thing. And then we brought so many people to the show. I ran the idea by Sierra because she just called me, or she was just texting me like, congratulate. I don't know, but I don't know how it came up, but I just ran the idea by her, and she's like, that'd be super awesome. Let's do it. And I was like, well, shouts out to you. Now I have to do it, right?
Yeah, right.
It was just an idea at first, but I was like, if they're believing in me, I kind of have to follow through with that. So
So you commit yourself at that point, like, oh, I can't back down now.
yeah, I was like, well, if they're giving me like the free space, then I'm not even gonna look at anything else, and I'm not gonna I have to kind of have to commit there. I don't have any other option. And this was like post Arizona Fashion Week stuff, so
Yeah.
so yeah.
Nice. No, I always love your shows because there is a lot of creative direction. Because I definitely feel like with you as your brand, you're not just a designer. You don't just sell clothes. You don't just sew, right? I feel like that's a little oversimplification for designers. I apologize for that, but you get what I'm trying to say. Like you have this message. You have like this vision of how you want to build your brand, and when you get the opportunity, you go and execute it
Yeah.
and do a great job.
Yeah. I mean, Alexandre is all about creating memories through the clothing we wear.
Yeah.
Right. So that's like our ethos about the brand. So
That's a cool ethos.
I appreciate it. Any chance we get to create that memory, like with the Flash Mob, with the Sober Couture, with the Chasing After the Wind show, like, you know, we told everyone to like put their phones away
Yeah.
during our presentation because, you know, we want you to actually create a memory, not, you know, not a Snapchat memory, not something in your photo album, like, you know, actually use your brain
Yeah.
and, you know, do what God made our
Yeah,
brains to
right.
create those memories for us, not to have our phones, right? So that was kind of like the idea behind that. But, you know, I want to make clothes that like, you know, whenever you look in your closet and you see something that I made or just something in general, just kind of like building that idea inside of you and instilling that and encouraging people to like, just like remember like the time that you bought it. Remember the time that you know, fell on. I have a pair of, I used to have a pair of jeans that I remember the exact, I was going to this basketball game and it was raining outside and I tried to jump over this puddle and I slipped and fell. And I had mud on my butt the entire, like this was like a 10-hour like tournament thing. So I'm watching games all day. So I just had mud on my butt the entire time. So just memories like that, like good, bad, indifferent, whatever, just like having that is that's like that always stands the test of time. Like I want you to hand off, you know, these jeans, you know, to your son, your grandkids, whatever, and be able to tell them 3-4 stories that like, you know, sit them down and like, they're like, oh, here's another one of granddad's stories.
Is that one that you made? Those ones?
Yeah. These are coming out November.
Oh, dang. That's dope.
Yeah, these are the exposed denim.
You cool to just kind of show the camera, like
was about to
stand
say
up and do
that.
a
Yeah,
little
bro,
360?
for
Yeah,
sure.
dude, because those are pretty dope.
These are the samples, so I don't have the full labeling on them, but like they're exposed. So the seams, usually, I mean, you have jeans, so
Yeah.
the seams are usually hidden, but these are exposed because with the show Chasing After the Wind, these were presented in that collection. With the show Chasing After the Wind, it was about like really getting back to the identity of Alexandre. I feel like we were doing a lot of stuff that was like gimmicky or like I wouldn't be proud of 5 years from now, right? So just kind of like looking in the mirror a little bit, figuring out like, because all Chasing After the Wind is just like everyone is just like working towards something that honestly at the end of the day doesn't matter, and you know. So like building something that you're proud of, having that legacy, being able to like, you know, whenever I talk about my brand, you can feel the passion and like the true love for it because I'm chasing something that's not win. It's chasing something that's like fulfilling. It's like being able to be an example, being able to speak life into people and encourage people, work with people. Like that's what I'm chasing after, rather than just like having like the coolest brand or like having like this money making machine or whatever. Like obviously that I want this to be a full-time job, right?
Yeah.
But I want this to be I don't want to say done the right way, but done in a way that I'm proud of and I can like
Yeah, because those ones are super dope. So when you make your clothes, do you make it like the whole outfit, like the shirt, the jeans, and all that, or you just
sometimes rarely I do that because I'm a piece shopper. I'm not an outfit shopper. I'll shop for a dope piece because I know I have something in my closet, even if it's just like a white tee. I know I can like style it in a way that I feel comfortable. So I just usually just like if I have an idea, I just try to like draw it out, sketch it out, go on Illustrator, and try to sew it or get it sampled or whatever. So
Okay.
That's dope. Yeah, everyone be on the lookout for these
when do
these
those come
pieces
out?
when they come out.
sometime in November. We don't have an official date yet. We're still working on getting. We're still shooting like the marketing and all that stuff for it. But November is kind of like the deadline I'm setting myself. So yeah, be on the lookout. Exposed denim.
Those are dope. I really like those. I like the style of
appreciate
them.
it.
Yeah, because I honestly thought they were some kind of like high end like jeans. Because like whenever I see something like that, I always see it in like a streetwear store, and those streetwear stores sell jeans for like $200. You know, so is that how much about those ones would be coming out to?
These are probably gonna be like 150.
Okay, so
160.
a
So
little good price.
yeah. I always go back and forth on price because like I never want to oversell or I don't want to, growing up, I couldn't afford clothes. That's why I started like really getting into making clothes. But at the same time, it's like making people understand like the value quality as well. Like I always say like, I don't want it to be too high, but like, at the same time, I would pay $160 for, a pair of jeans that I believe in the brand, the quality, all that stuff. And I can like really trust. And that's what I'm trying to get to, right? So like I have to kind of like manifest that and believe in myself with that price point, if that makes sense.
Thanks for watching this episode, brought to you by Martini Mates.
Can't be bothered to make your own cocktails? Try Martini Mates ready-to-drink cocktails.
It's veteran-owned, gluten-free, dairy-free, and hassle-free. Check the website for a location near you. Cheers, mate.
Now back to the podcast.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Then a lot of things that people probably don't realize with jeans is like those things last so long. Yeah. They last like 5+ years. So even if you buy like 150, 160 pair of jeans, it's gonna last you a long time.
Yeah.
As long as you stay within that same weight.
Dimension. Yeah, you don't get bigger.
I know, right? Gain a bunch of weight in like 5 months. Oh, there you go.
There goes the jeans.
Yeah, I always size up. So I'm naturally like a 34 waist, but I try to get like 36s. Just because also with jeans, like the different like weights of the jeans are like Japanese, selvage, raw, like these different types of denim can create like a different fit. Stretchability, if there's a spandex in some of them, it'll be like a stretchy denim, so like you can get your true size and still like kind of fluctuate. But if it's like raw or like selvage denim, then you better size up or like you better work out because they're staying that like kind of stiff 32 or like hard 34, whatever it is, for the entire time you have them. So
that actually brings an interesting question I've never really thought about, because you work with denim a lot, right?
That is, I love denim so much.
So how can you like explain or talk about the different types of denim and how like denim is different in different places? Like you said Japanese, and I know American denim has its own unique style as well and iconicness, and then I'm pretty sure there's other regions, right?
Yeah, I mean, most like Italian denim, Mexican denim, American denim, Japanese denim, like most places have their kind of own denim. It's usually like one, how it's grown, like the cotton, because denim is just cotton. So how it's grown, how it's dyed, how it's woven. So like woven is like the interlocking of the denim. That's gonna be like the biggest difference. Weight of the denim, of course, and if it's like 7 ounce super thin, or if it's like 14, 15 ounce like heavy, hardcore, like I'm working in a factory type denim.
That's my favorite type of denim, like the heavy duty that's got some weight to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. Can't wear it in the summer too much, so I kind of shied away, especially being in Arizona. But so those are going to be the biggest differences. Wash, whether it's like sun faded, enzyme wash, bleached. Most denims come in, I think all denim actually comes in like the indigo blue. That's indigo dye is like the original, what originally people use. Like the most natural form of denim is going to be indigo dyed. I think if I'm remembering correctly from the book that I read. But anyway, that's the most original. There's so
much more to denim than I.
It's a lot, man.
This is all that you learned from like studying it on YouTube or like books, or is this experience that you learned?
It's a little bit of everything. Like again, I'm YouTube University. That's me. I got a master's degree, or at least I'm working on the master's degree. So just like from books, YouTube, just trial and error. So like even like black jeans, if you get like a raw pair of black jeans, if you wash them, raw means like it's just what it is. They're not pre-washed. If you wash it with like a hoodie, it's gonna stain. Or like if you were to wash a pair of raw jeans with this white tee will not be white anymore, because the ink will come off, right? So pre-washed denim is where like all like the excess ink is taken out, it's washed out. Obviously, it's ink, so it's or like dye or whatever. So it's still gonna, if you were to put it in white tee, it's gonna dye, right? But it's not gonna be as noticeable. It's not gonna be as bad. But that's what pre-washed is. That's what typically what you'll see like in like a regular store. You'll see pre-washed denim. But once you get into like smaller brands, handmade stuff, if you like are shopping like local or something like that, at like one of those random like vintage markets, because they'll source fabric from like vintage stores, thrift shops, wherever the case may be. They might be getting raw denim. So like if you wash it, I always tell people, if you get a pair of jeans from me, either wash it now, like without anything, or like a random towel or something, or don't wash them at all, because you don't need to wash jeans.
Yeah.
Jeans only need to be washed if there is a stain on them. Otherwise, it's just a waste of water. It's a waste of anything to wash them. So that's my sustainable duties, is telling everyone, do not wash your jeans.
So I'm hearing it's acceptable for me to go weeks without washing my jeans.
It is.
Right?
It is. Unless, I mean, if you got butt sweat, man, then go ahead, throw them in the wash real quick. But if you're just
part
like,
of the art now, it's part of the aesthetic.
that's gross. But but if you're just like, out and about, do like a quick photo shoot, or like, if you're just throwing on a fit or something like that, like there's no reason to throw your jeans in the wash.
That's what I always hear about like shirts too, is like if you wear cotton shirts, like to not wash it after, like even if you use it for one day or like a couple hours, because like the more you wash like cotton, it'll just get worse after time.
Yeah, the fibers will start like sticking up. So if you ever see like a high quality but like an older shirt that's been washed a bunch, if you look at it closely, you'll see like the fibers kind of like, she knows what I'm talking about. Like you'll see them kind of like, I don't know what the word, like you ever seen like a cat, like the hair stick up when they get a little scared, like you see goosebumps or whatever. Mm-hmm. It'll kind of like sticking up like that a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen those before.
Yeah, so
that's why I like to wear mine. That's like 50% cotton, 50% polyester, or 60% cotton, 40% polyester.
Those will wash better. They're horrible for the environment, but they'll definitely wash better.
Yeah, hey, those are comfortable, dude. They're stretchy, all right.
Yeah, they are. They are.
I feel good. The environment, not so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
So I definitely. I'm not gonna say I stay away with t-shirts. Like I'm not gonna say I stay away from polyester. I try not to shop polyester, but like you said, they're comfortable. So
they can be stretchy.
Can't hate on it. But
I got an interesting question. What's kind of gearing away from the private shows and more into like fashion weeks? What's your experience been like with the different fashion weeks out here? Because I know there's been we're talking about Tempe, Phoenix. There was a 602. And there's Arizona.
Oh, I've done 8 shows. I did 602 as well.
Yeah. You did 2 years in a row, right?
No, I didn't do it the first year. I did it this past year.
Yeah.
So.
What was the experience like with them, with each of them? Because I know each fashion week has their own like process, their own vibe, their own direction. Yeah.
Phoenix Fashion Week is definitely more corporate. Definitely more like. If you were to ask a random person what a fashion show would look like, that is what it will look like.
Yeah.
Got a stage, got your stage, got your lights, got your like your host, got the LED wall, like very traditional, basic setup.
Yeah.
Right. Got the chairs on either side, that type of thing.
It's very standard.
Yeah.
Go for
standard.
that high presentation, high production, just big lights, big show.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I didn't end up doing Arizona Fashion Week. They're what you would, again, if you were to ask a random person, they're what you would, what they would consider like from what I've seen, at least from what like New York or like Paris, like what that experience would be like, because they do a couple different venues. They have like a little bit more like creative production value rather than like a standard. So yeah, that, and they invite people, whatever the case may be, whatever. Mm-hmm. So. From what I've seen, that would be that type of vibe. Tempe Fashion Week, when I worked that show, because I was working at this place called Fabric, shouts out to them, all over there. We hosted it at the building that they were at. That was definitely more of like a traditional like Paris type fashion week, where beautiful stage design, beautiful set, great models.
Tempe, were you in first year or second year?
I think it was that second year where they had like the flowers and stuff.
That was at Fabric, yeah.
That was the spring show? Right?
Yeah, the spring show, yeah.
It was spring, yeah. Were you there? Yeah.
I was there for the first show.
Okay.
For the first year in the fall.
Nice. Okay. Okay. Cool.
And then the fall was at the stadium, right?
Say ASU?
Yeah.
ASU,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ended up shooting the recap to that one.
Nice.
Yeah, that one was my first ever recap of a fashion show.
Nice.
Rip Tempe Fashion Week.
Is that how Isaac started with the whole recap videos? the iconicness of the
Dude, no,
coverage?
it all started from montages way
Oh.
back, but it correlates into creating those recaps.
Nice.
But
I feel like
that's so crazy that we were all there.
I was
Like,
about to say I feel
yeah.
like
one of us.
we
Yeah.
probably have like crossed paths then. If you were working with Fabric way back when, you actually, if that was the fall of the first show, I think I just started working there.
Okay.
That'd be
Yeah,
fun.
probably because I know I went like there was a couple like modeling rehearsals that they did at Fabric that I would be at.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, that it's so crazy like when we talk about Tempe Fashion Week just on the podcast cuz like there's so many people that were there that
true,
like
yeah.
we're literally working with to
Yeah.
this day, and I'm like, dude, it's so crazy how we were all there but we're all together now.
No.
Like how does it's crazy to me.
I'll definitely give them that. They did connect a lot of the creative people. Like connected all.
Yeah, I think about it and I'm like, hold on, because yeah, there was so many people. I'm like, you were there, you were there, and I'm like, what? That's so odd. But it also shows like how just small and like very
Yeah.
like everybody kind of knows a lot of people here in the fashion
Yeah.
industry too because of
Yeah.
that. But yeah, it's crazy. Tempe Fashion Week is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which one would you say is your favorite? Like, of all the ones that you've done, like, what show like stood out to you the most, or you had the best looks?
My own.
Your own?
You're like, "Wow."
My own for sure.
Yeah.
Just because it's my own. No shade to anybody. Phoenix Fashion Week was really fun because of like the kind of theatrics that I had in there and like how we captured it and like posted it and stuff like that. I really enjoyed that. But no offense to anybody, but my own was definitely definitely my favorite.
Yeah.
The looks were awesome. The vibe was awesome. The story was awesome. It was just like everything kind of like came together. So that was super sick. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but that was fire. So
What's a moment from one of your shows that will live in your memory forever? It's like if you're thinking about like something you've done in the past, that's the first thing that you think of because it has that much of a memorable impact for you. I want the stories.
Either finishing that flash mob, the end of that was super awesome. Just embracing everyone. That was definitely one of those memories. Just seeing like the pre-show while like everyone getting seated, kind of like the hospitality that we had at my show at the in March. That was really cool to see, just like names on the seat, people's reactions,
I remember
like
that,
getting
yeah.
escorted to stuff, like, you know, just chopping it up with people, asking how they're doing, making sure they're okay. Like, I mean, I love serving. I got a heart for serving. So being able to do that, but also present my work was really like a dream come true. So
That's dope. Is that kind of what you've always like envisioned when you started creating your own clothing brand and then starting to come up in the fashion stuff? Did you want to do stuff like that, or did that just kind of happen from the people you met?
That's a good question.
That is a really good question. You know, it's crazy. If you were to ask me, I think someone did ask me in like 2019 when I like really like first like got into sewing and like kind of creating my own stuff, if I were to ever want to do like runway shows, and I was like, honestly, no. I was like, nah, I don't. But I've also been a person like I when I feel comfortable, I will do it and I'll go 100%. Like at the time, I was like, my work sucks. Like I don't, as far as like doing a full on runway show, never in a million years would I want to do that. But as my work got better, as I got more confidence, as I like started creating like full on pieces and looks, I was like, oh, I could probably do one. And then I did the Label Horse show, which is smaller, kind of got my feet wet, and I was like, oh, this is a piece of cake.
Yeah.
And I can just kind of like build on that. So I don't want to do any more shows in the future though. I'm done with that until like New York or Paris, and I feel comfortable. I feel comfortable on just a brand level, like brand recognition. Like people, like when I go up there, I would still be like a newer brand, of course, but like it would make a little bit more sense just for me. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't make sense for me to go to
So that's your goal now, is just to get to the bigger shows like New York or like even out of the country kind of shows?
Not necessarily. I don't. Again, my goal now, like now that I've done shows, I've organized my own shows. I've done other people's shows. My goal is not to get to bigger shows. My goal is to be on the level to where it would make sense to do a bigger show. Does that make sense?
So it's definitely your brand focus and what comes with you reaching the level that you
Yeah.
want to be at. Then it happens, right? Just
So
yeah,
what would it
go
take
focus
to
on your
do
brand.
that? Like what would you say would be like is it like you have to have the certain amount of designs, or you have to sell this amount of clothes at these fashion shows, or what would like
Definitely putting work out consistently for sale, selling it well, connecting with people, doing like some influencer stuff. Like once I get to that stage and feel comfortable and like I feel like I understand it enough to where like I could it kind of runs itself in this sense, right?
Yeah.
Then I would feel comfortable and kind of know like the work that I put out there, I could not figure out, but I could market it and sell it instead of like trying to like, okay, we did a show, market the show, and then figure out how to market the clothes, right?
Okay,
It
yeah, I
would
see
kinda,
what
like,
you mean.
Go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Right? So once I get to that level, like I said, once it makes sense business wise, then I would get back into it. But it doesn't make sense for me to, you know,
That's a good way to
it's a lot
plan
of
it,
money,
though. Yeah,
it's
for
a lot of
sure.
money just for some marketing because that's all it is, right? There's not even like if there's a guaranteed, I would be in a store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100% I would do that, but like there's no guarantee for that. So once it makes sense for me business wise, then I would love to try and get into that stuff. But
Makes sense.
right now I'm chilling, having fun.
Sounds like do everything.
So.
That's what you gotta do.
What do you like doing the most of, like when you're in your creative process and you want to start making like a piece of clothing? Like what do you start off with making first? Like is it like the shirt of it, the pants of it, or what is like the first step of that process?
When I'm doing runway stuff or just in general?
Just in general, yeah. Like when you come up with a new idea for a clothes. Clothes.
Cloth.
Yeah, clothes.
Cloth.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah, your
cloth.
cloth.
Um,
I wasn't gonna call you on that, but I'm glad you did.
My cloth.
this man's like European or something, but
Right.
Like all this conversation of a couture, he's like, that next level now is like cloth.
cloth.
Yeah, I'm European, sophisticated.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Sorry, continue.
Definitely building out the tech back. Like I said, I love construction, how things are made, and the tech back is like the blueprints for all that.
Okay.
All the sizings, all the smaller details. It's fun because I get to like kind of like add in small stuff that I overlooked in like the kind of like initial sketching process, like some like pocket details, some of the like labeling. I have some pretty cool. I have some pretty cool jeans with some dope labeling that are coming. I got to get them sampled still, but that's probably like my favorite part. I'm trying to. I love sewing, but I'm trying to move away from it. It's just like a little bit more. It's a little less efficient for me because I don't have the right equipment to do the sampling that I would want to do. So I try to sample as much as possible, just because it is like inexpensive to do it, like just to find some random denim or like whatever the case may be, and then kind of like just get the shape and stuff together. But my favorite part would probably be like the sketching into like the tech back stage, and kind of just building the blueprint, and then getting it sampled and kind of like reworking it from there, doing some test shots, getting like that little like, Instagram story stuff. Like I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, no, that's dope.
So yeah, that's probably my favorite part about it all, getting that first sample.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What's going back in like different stories? What is a moment that you've had from a show that was kind of almost traumatic in a sense where you're like, yeah, I'm never gonna do that again, or ooh, next time let's do that differently. Something that stands out that is probably gonna stick with you for a while.
Probably that Denim Dream show. This most recent show that I organized, and then the Denim Dream show that I did last year in March or April. I think it was March, or I think it was April. But that one, I probably spent the week prior. Every night I would, because I had a 9 to 5, so I would get off work and go straight to sewing. I wouldn't eat until like 11:30 at night. Get up at like 7:30, go to work, or like 8, go to work, whatever it was. Get back home. I did that for like a week straight. and just in preparation for
Yeah.
the show. So
That's
that definitely
rough, man.
taught me preparation and like, preparation.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the grind of a creative. Like we get into that like creative sync where we're just like go 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 go, and we're like food. What's food?
Yeah.
Rest. Who sleeps?
Yeah.
It's about getting it done.
Exactly. So doing that, getting all the marketing and stuff out, I was like sewing. We had a shoot at the art studio that the show was at. We did like a visual for it. That was there, and I brought all my sewing stuff. Like I was cutting fabric in the background. Like
Yeah.
it was a lot. So definitely preparation. The seating arrangement for the first show, nobody knows this, but the seating arrangement for this past show in March, Chasing After the Wind, an hour and a half before the show, it was a completely different seating arrangement than
Oh, dang.
what
Yeah.
was presented. We laid it all out. We probably got it done. Man, we probably got everything set up. So we got there like 8 a.m. Probably got everything set up by like noon. And I'm like, whoa. I'm looking at my watch. I'm like, we're like 3 hours ahead of schedule. I'm like, man, everybody grab some food, man. We're chilling. We probably had like 10 assistants at that time. Yeah, we probably like probably anywhere from like 8 to 10 assistants on top of my team. So it was probably like 15 of us out there just like working on stuff. And I'm like, man, everybody take a quick little break. We'll take like 15, 20-minute break. We'll get back to work in a second. Then the modeling, we're taking pictures of the set. Like it looks amazing. Sierra, the event coordinator of Cul-de-sac, she comes over. She's like, whoa, like this is awesome. Like we're about to go crazy. You guys are gonna go stupid. Like there was like a 15-foot clearance that we had to have for like fire trucks at the place. That's where there was like that big gap at the show. But we maybe had like, it was like 13 feet or something like that. She was like, well, we might have to like squeeze in a little extra room, but like for the most part, you guys are good. So I'm like, okay, bet. Like once everybody gets here, they're not gonna care about that. But like, like we're chilling. So I'm like, everybody take a break. The modeling Corell & Co. They come up. They get to the set or whatever, to the venue. And I'll never forget this. Gia comes over. She's one of the co-owners of Corella. She comes over. She pulls me aside. Goes like, "Yo," or actually, I'm like in the changing room area, or like I'm in a different area. Somebody calls me on my phone and is like, "Yo, can you come over here? Gia has a few questions for you." I look over. I was like, "Okay." So I get back over there and she pulls me aside. I say, "Hey," she said some other words, but she was like, "What is this?" And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, this is the set. Like, it's going to be super intimate. I wanted everybody close together. So, like, you can really, like, be a part of, like, the show. And, like, the people sitting there, like, you're walking, like, the models are walking right in front of you. So, you, like, actually, like, touch and feel. Like, you're not actually touching and feeling, but, like, that's, like, how close I wanted it to be. And she was like, yeah, no, that's not working. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, it's going to be so dope. I'm trying to, like, convince her. But she's like, you take a walk. Like, we just tried to walk, but you take a walk. I'm like, okay, but I can do that. She was like, wait, we're all going to sit down and you see if you can walk through this. So I'm like, whatever, okay. So they all sit down. It's probably like, there were some models there too. So it's probably like 20 people like that sat down. Like, really, it was real realistic.
Yeah.
Again, mind you, this is probably like, the show started doors open at like, I think it was like 4. And it's probably like 1:45, 2 o'clock.
Oh, dang.
We're literally getting close, right?
Yeah.
I hadn't even changed. I'm like sweating and stuff. So I'm like, okay, bet. Everyone sits down. So I walk over there and I like, I was trying to fake it, right?
Yeah.
I'm walking. I'm doing my thing. I told everybody to walk super slow, like the really intimate, again, really real good vibes. I'm walking slow. I'm stepping on people's toes. I'm hitting knees. I'm like sliding over, but I'm trying to keep my composure. I can't let them win, right? Right? This is my baby, right? I can't let them win. I got to keep my idea. So I'm like, I'm knocking people over. People are like, ouch, out, whatever. So I get through. I'm like, what's wrong? Like, this is perfect. Like, this is exactly what I want.
Intimate.
And they all everyone is just staring at me like, no way he just said that. And I'm like, okay, well, what did you have in mind? She was like, well, first off, we need to back this up. Because like, I'll never forget this too. Elijah, you know Elijah. He's like 6'8". He's like 6'7", 6'8". She's like, first of all, Elijah would never be able to do what you just did, and you were struggling. I'm like, Elijah, come here. Elijah, come over here. So I had Elijah just walk through this, see if you can do it. He's like, boom, 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 like just stomping on people's toes. And I'm like, okay. What did you have in mind? I'm like, well, first of all, we're gonna back it up about 2 feet. I'm like, clearance, we can't do that. I'm like, we're gonna figure this out. right? So we sat there probably like 20 minutes brainstorming.
Yeah.
And mind you, again, it's about 2 o'clock, or it's about 2:15,
getting to the
getting
wire.
about 2:30, and we're just sitting there brainstorming. I said, everyone, come here. I brought everyone down. I said, we're just gonna sit here. We're gonna figure this out. And so we're like, we could back it up. I'm like, no, because that's the clearance. Okay. Well, what if we just back up the back side of the chairs and kind of scoot everything forward a little bit? I'm like, that could work, but people are so close together. We need to space them out. And then finally, this girl named Grace, who was a model, but she was like an assistant at the time for the show. She was like, what if we do like the staggered, like one in the front, one diagonal in the back, one in the front, like do that type of way. So that way the back row could still see as if they were front row. And the front row is not like one trampled on top of each other, but also they're far enough to where everyone has leg room, the models can still walk, all that good stuff. And I was like, nah, we don't have time for this. Okay, let's do it. Nah. But I was like, it was a really good idea. And I couldn't say no. I was like, but I couldn't say no because it was such an amazing idea. And it ended up looking incredible. But we were like, I literally was like, I like got on like a megaphone. I didn't have one, but I was like, I screamed like, all right, all hands on deck, everybody, models, vendors, whoever is here, we're switching all this out. We got to do this because at this point, like people was there people that showed up? No, it's probably like 3 o'clock by now. So I'm like, all hands on deck because we got to switch this up because once people start going, they're going to get their seats and then they're going to go like hang out with the vendors.
Yeah.
So we start switching everything out. And mind you, there's like 200 chairs, 250 chairs or something like that. Probably more than that at this point. So like, we're just like, boom, boom. We just mushed all the chairs out of the way. Boom, 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 boom. We're getting to it. We had to redo the entire seating order because we had a seating arrangement, right? Because we had like VIPs sitting front row. We had people that we wanted in certain positions and all that stuff. Yeah. We had to scrap all that, redo it. So again, it's probably 3:30, 3:45. We had people showing up. One of the magazines, Blaze Radio, shout out to them. They were like one of the first people that came. And it's not like just like whoever, right? It's Blaze Radio, right?
Yeah.
The person that we wanted there to like cover the show and like, do all these things. So like they're seeing us like scramble. I'm not dressed. Carlos wasn't dressed. They're seeing people like scramble, moving chairs, getting things placed in order. So we had to redirect everyone. Luckily, we had that space in the middle, so we had to redirect everyone. Like, check in here. Don't look at anything. Just go straight back to the vendors. Go hang out with the vendors. So like, thank God we had vendors there. We had an incredible like selection of vendors. So like they were chilling. They were buying stuff. Like it actually boosted the sales for the vendors because like. Nice. That was an extra hour or so that they had to kind of just like interact with everyone. And mind you, again, in total, we had over 250 people there. But surprisingly, to my surprise, people showed up like relatively on time.
Right. Which never happens in a fashion show or anything
never
fashion
happens.
related.
So I'm like, now we're switching chairs. People are actually showing up on time. Like it's supposed to be like this like mecca because I had a dress code. So like people are like classy, like. So we just sent everyone back to the vendors. They were hanging out. It was awesome. We were like we still started maybe like 15 minutes late, so we didn't start necessarily late.
That's still early in fashion.
Yeah, it's still early, right? And we didn't seat anyone until I want to say 6:30. We started seating everyone, but they were already like, again, they were chilling. So like from 4 to about 6:15, 6:30. They were just like hanging out with the vendors. Models were back there chilling. Like everyone was vibing. Excuse me. And anyone I talked to, they're like, I didn't even notice, bro.
Yeah.
You guys were working on that? I mean, I didn't. I was chilling. So
still made it work somehow.
Made it work. So
yeah, I was just about to say that. Like when I was there, it just felt like the vibes were meant to be in the vendor area. Like that was that felt like it was the actual plan. So it's like.
Yeah, so again, crazy. Thank God we had those vendors, and thank God they were like really good vendors. They were chill. They were like actually interacting. They weren't just like come shop. They were like actually chopping it up with people. Like a lot of people they already knew. So like it was a really just good group of people to just hang out with. We had like the 2 showrooms. So like people were. Oh, is that time?
Yeah, we're about.
We can keep it going for a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I appreciate it.
But we're about to start wrapping. But yeah.
But we had. Yeah, turn that on. I'm just playing.
I'm talking.
It's like, you're messing on my store, man.
But we had people, in the showroom. So, like, the showrooms were, like, they were supposed to be, like, see the collection early, like, specifically for the VIPs. But, like, at this point, we're just, like, whatever, just, like, go hang out, do your thing. So it was really cool there. So, yeah, and at about 6:30, we were, like, we had microphones, so we were like, hey, everyone, if everyone could just line up in 2 rows, we're going to get you seated. Because, again, seating arrangement, we had
to figure it out
people.
on the spot.
So, yeah, on the spot, we had a few people that were like, hey, I had a seat. I was invited here. I had a seat. So we had to figure that out. Like, luckily, again, thank God, like, we created such an environment and just, like, had great hospitality. People were just like, you know, if their seat wasn't what they expected, they were still pretty cool about it.
Yeah,
There were some people that were like, there were some people that were a little disgruntled or whatever, but like for the most part,
for this.
Yeah,
all that type of stuff.
whatever. But like for the most part, everyone was cool. Once we got everyone seated, we were able to like kind of bring other people to like quote unquote better seating arrangements. But for the most part, no matter where we were sitting at, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
You could see everything, the way we staggered everything. So it really worked out well. It was fun. Once we got things kicked off, it was honestly, I'm kind of glad we kind of messed up that seating arrangement because like when we got stuff started, it was just like the lighting was just dim enough. Like if sunset was hitting, we had strobe lights, we had the LED walls, so like they were crisp. They didn't have like that glare, you guys know, like when there's too much sunlight.
Yeah.
So you could actually see stuff if you were a little too far back or whatever the case. We had cameras. Like it was like the perfect time. Cul-de-sac has like these beautiful like Christmas style lights that they hang, like stream lights.
Those across the
and they
top.
hang across the top.
Yeah. Okay.
So like it was like this really cool ambiance that was like very beautiful. We had some the CEO of Cul-de-sac actually spoke at the event. We had some good sponsors. So
Sweet.
that was definitely the most traumatic experience. Thinking like people are gonna like start leaving, but like everyone like honestly stayed and came in droves. Like there was people. We sold out of all the tickets, and then we opened up like overflow tickets, like thinking like we won't have seats, so like you can just like stand and watch. But we ended up having seats anyway. But some people were like, I kind of like the vibe of standing, so like they were just like in the back chilling. There was I remember, I'll never forget this, but there's older woman. Someone called me over, was like, hey, this lady's just kind of just like standing here. So I'm like, you know, one of the managers, like showrunners or whatever. So I had to like go up to her and talk to her. She had this fire like trench style coat, like pea coat on.
Nice.
So I'm thinking like she bought a ticket because like, you know, she looks like fashion forward. She might have just went to the restaurant there, or I don't know. But I was like, hey, like, what's up? Do you want to sit down? Like, do you want to see? Do you want to buy a ticket or whatever? But at this point, I'm like, you can just sit down. Like, I don't even care at this point. Show's already running. I'm too stressed. Like, just find a seat. But she was like, no, honestly, like, I like this where I'm at right now. I'm just kind of catching a vibe, like standing. I'm like, see ya. Thank you, and have a great experience.
Enjoy the show.
Right.
Enjoy the show.
That's awesome.
So yeah, everyone was really dope. People were texting me like, hey, is the show still going? Like, can I just come like stand and watch? I'm like, yeah, pull up. I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
That's sick.
parking was insane. The restaurant that's on Cul-de-sac apparently was mad at us
Oh.
because we took up all the parking and people that were going just like for the restaurant. I don't know. So I told them that we were having a show. Then
Yeah.
I guess they didn't expect it to be that big. So
Right.
that's on them, man.
Dope.
That's
So
on
yeah,
them.
I mean, just wrapping it off. Like, what's next for you? What do you like? Where can people find you, or what's your goal? What's your plan?
Definitely still working with some of our retailers. Shout out to Studio 22. We're working with a new store in the Biltmore Fashion Park called Hesperia.
Nice.
Definitely more of a higher end fashion store, streetwear store. So just, you know, building on those relationships, getting a few more stores in different locations, traveling a little bit more to like, you know, connect with different people in different markets.
Yeah.
Putting out more pieces. We got some stuff coming back that did well for us previously. Just, you know, continuing to reintroduce ourselves.
Yeah.
Building on that. Got denim coming out for sure. So be on the lookout. If you want some good quality denim, man,
Check it out. All the links will be in the description.
be here. Yeah,
So
exactly.
go check your stuff out.
Exactly.
Man,
So,
we appreciate you being on the podcast today and like talking with us and getting to hear more of your story, your process, and your traumatic experiences. You know?
no, I appreciate you guys having me, man. This was really cool. It's been a long time since I've done like a full on podcast. So, this was sick, man. Yeah, I appreciate you guys inquiring.
All right, so we got by Alexandre. Go check out his collection, his socials, all of it. All right, and I think that wraps
So
up today,
wrap it
right?
up. We'll see you guys in the next episode.